Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do the launch video for my autumn kit for 2023, and this is called Autumn Harvest. Now I was working on a brights one as well of this. Unfortunately I haven't got it finished so far, so yeah, I decided to put this in my shop as it was, and yeah, if I get time I will go back and do the brights. If not, then obviously that will go, you know, by the by, I'm afraid. But this is Autumn Harvest. Now it's one of my smaller kits. So you get the background pages, they are one purchase, and then you get the ephemera part, that is a second, you know, separate piece. You know, I like to do it like that because then obviously if you don't need to buy the whole lot or you don't want to buy the whole lot, you could just buy either the, you know, the background pages or the ephemera pieces. So let's do a quick run through. So it is these beautiful, you know, harvest kind of fruits and vegetables kind of images. Mixed with, of course, some of the beautiful, I call them autumn animals. I mean, presumably they're not autumn animals, are they? I mean, you get hedgehogs and foxes and all the rest of it all year round. But they are typically, you know, associated with autumn time. So, yes, we've got lots of animals and things like that in here. And they're in these beautiful, obviously muted kind of autumnal tones. You know, and we've got lots of the berries, you know, that you get at autumn time, you know, the raspberries and the blackberries. Well, raspberries, they're I guess, you know, all year round, but the blackberries definitely, you know, they're a seasonal thing, aren't they? So, yeah, and we've got the collage page and things. So, yep, I'm just going to run you through the pages, and I'm going to do a project with you guys with this. Because of my new filming schedule, some will be, you know, uploaded and some won't be. You know, I'll have to do some in slow time, but I will definitely get started with you guys. So hopefully it will kind of fuel some inspiration for you. Just, you know, seeing kind of the start at least. So, yep, absolutely just love, love, love this kit. I have to say it's very, very pretty. You know, very, very scrumptious autumn colours. The downloads come to you. You will get PDF copies. Oops, that's the same page I've printed twice. You will get PDF and also JPEG versions of the files, because I know that lots of you like, you know, JPEGs, and lots of you like the PDF files. So you will get both versions of the files. These have all been printed. These background pages have all been printed on 110 GSM, and it's the presentation quality paper. So it's a, you know, it's a slightly better quality, or it's a much better quality than just, you know, regular copy paper. So yeah, nice quality paper there. And then my ephemera pages, what I have done is I've printed some bits on thicker photo quality paper and some on that 110 GSM, depending on what it is, you know, that I've printed. So this is on photo quality paper. So you get all of these, which would be fantastic as topper type pieces, or maybe like altered paper clips, that kind of thing. You know, lots of those that you can use around. They could be used as little topper pieces on tags, all sorts of things. So you get those, and then I'm just going to do the thicker pieces first. Then you get these where you've got some tags here. You've got little postage stamps, little label pieces, and lots of berries and things that you can cut out as fussy cuts, and the little squirrel. So these again would be fantastic for making things like snippet rolls and things like that, or clusters, those pieces. Oops, that's that same page, which, yeah, I had a bit of an accident with the printer, so it didn't print fully. Then you've got a couple of envelope pages. Now, again, I had printed this actually on thinner and thicker paper, so I'm just going to kind of show you. So this is obviously the thinner papers, and then this is on the photo quality paper. And I did that just, because as you can see, I had a bit of problems with my printer. Yep, dirty kind of print head there on the back. So that's those. And then you've got, again, lots of fussy cut pieces surrounding those envelopes. So you can use those, you know, with your, like I said, snippet rolls, clusters, all of that kind of stuff. So lots of those bits. And again, on the copy paper there. And then you've got a couple of pages of journal cards. And I included some landscape ones here because sometimes I think I definitely seem to have a lack of landscape pieces. portrait ones here. Now you could always print these two to a page, and then they would obviously be smaller if that would fit your projects better. And then here, these are the stationery page. So it's just the same, but for some reason I've printed it twice. So you get genuine vintage letters here from my own kind of stash that I've scanned in. And then I've just added the gorgeous little autumnal, you know, images around on there. So that is the two kits, and they are available on my Etsy shop. Now, what am I going to make with these? Well, thought it's high time I do an altered book. I haven't done one for a really long time. Actually, I don't think I've done one at all this year. For some reason, I don't seem to have actually made many journals this year. Life's just got in the way, I think. So yeah, I'm going to do an altered book. Oops, for some reason I have got a page in there which should not be in there. So, oh, in fact, I've got two. So I shall have to tear those two pages out. I hadn't noticed those, but yeah, I should tear those out. So I've got an altered book. Now, what I have done is I have torn out pages to, you know, slim the book down. So as you can see from the side, there's obviously pages, you know, have been torn out. And then I've glued pages together to thicken them up. Some I have made into, you know, thicker pages with pockets, and some I have kept just as thicker pages. Not that I can see any there, but definitely at the front I've got just some thicker pages that are not then pockets. There we go, there's one. Okay, so all of those are now quite thick and, you know, robust. And what I thought we could do, this is going to be a different take on an altered book. So what I would like to do is, if you watch my channel, you may remember me making these journal cards, you know, journal cards or pockets, however you wanted to use them. Now, these were made obviously on book page. I've painted roughly in the background and then put like an image on, a label, maybe some splatters and a bit of shading. I also added some stamping on this. And I thought I'm going to use this and these, which again, I made these on a video. And I'm going to use these pieces as my inspiration for how I'm going to form my altered book. Now, it will probably turn out nothing like these, but this is where I'm drawing my inspiration from. So I normally, when I do an altered book, if you've watched me do an altered book, you'll know I do generally paint the pages. That's how I like to do my altered books. But I thought I would use these types of format for my pages. So where here I've got obviously bits, you know, maybe attached like with a brad, or, you know, just kind of glued on as a pocket and things, or this, where this is my central piece. I'm going to use the book pages, obviously, in this book as my, you know, my base level pages, if that makes sense. And then mixed in with the, I'll just bring these back in, with the autumn images. So that's the plan. I hope it's going to kind of like pan out well. Who knows? Oh, and I also, sorry, forgot to bring in this one. Also got this one where, of course, I've used some paper and things. So, you know, we're going to have a mixture of these types of inspired pages going through here. And then rather than have lots of pockets and things like that, actually in my altered book, which, you know, normally I would kind of glue them obviously onto the pages, I'm going to more have flimsy copy papery type pieces. Well, it's not copy paper, it's thicker. I'm going to coffee dye them and things, and then they are going to be either clipped in or stapled in and things like that. So they're more kind of removable and less, you know, fixed into the book. That's the plan. Like I say, I haven't done that kind of thing in an altered book before. So, you know, it might go to plan, it might just go completely not to plan, in which case, you know, I have to have a rethink. Oh, I'm just flicking through and kind of finding pages where I have obviously missed gluing them together. So I might have to come back and, you know, alter them. You know, either tear them out or something. But that's the plan. So let's kind of get cracking. Now, when I do an altered book, I normally, or any junk journal, I normally just jump around and flip from page to page. I don't kind of tend to do it, you know, front to back, you know, so I'm going to do that in exactly the same way as I would normally do, you know. So let's take one of our fussy cut pieces. So like for instance here, I've got this gorgeous deer type image. Now this is the one that's on the, you know, photo quality paper. So I'm going to cut that out like that. Okay. Now I'm going to fussy cut around this, and this is going to be my focal point. So if I just pull in that journal card that we're using as our inspiration. Now, as you can see, this is quite a small image compared to this, which obviously the image dominates the whole page. The reason, obviously, you know, you can see these are much bigger pages. This is, you know, probably a smaller image than this as well. But because obviously this is going to be a journal in itself, this was just a journal card, I'm going to try and leave quite a bit of journaling space. Now, this is famous last words because, of course, I do struggle with leaving empty space. So I'm not sure whether that's going to go to plan. But that's the intention at the moment, is I'm kind of thinking, do this sort of thing like this, and then you're going to have a lot of journaling space all around. Of course, we're going to add things like lace and, you know, trims and things like that because, yeah, it just wouldn't be one of my, you know, style projects if we didn't, but that's the plan. Now I'm going to try and kiss cut this rather than, you know, close fussy cut this. Now my kiss cutting is not great, it's got to be said. So already I've mucked that up because I've gone way too close to the image. But the reason why I'm doing that is purely because over here I've got these leaves and they're quite small. So I'm thinking just having that extra bit of white space is just going to make them a little bit, you know, more robust, if that makes sense. So like that. Okay. Like that. Oops. So sorry, that is my iPad, I think, notifying me that noise, I think, is eBay. Something, obviously, that I've been watching is ending, or it's reminding me, oh, did you want to bid on this item? I've got, like, things in my watch list, which, you know, probably a lot of them have been in there for years, but, yeah. Don't know why, but for some reason it's just started making those noises again. Right. Now, obviously, where I've kiss cut this, you can see it's got the white space around it. I'm going to ink it up so that obviously I disguise the white space. Right, let me see if I can spot my ink pad anywhere. No, so this is the first. This is the first mishap today. Oh, here we go. I knew it was here somewhere. Right. So inking around, and obviously, you know, once you ink a kiss cut piece, it just kind of takes the kiss cutting completely away. You know, it's not even really noticeable now. So like that. Okay, right, there we go. Now I'm going to use it on this page. Now I've brought along a whole bunch of different paints. Now I use or tend to use acrylic paints. I did recently buy some new colours of acrylic paints. So I want to sort of pick colours that are going to, of course, complement the papers. Now, I have brought along quite a few different ones. I have brought along this. I suspect this is going to be like really strong, you know, really bright. But I thought maybe it would just kind of look good with the carrots. I've also got this colour, which is sort of similar, which again, you know, maybe it will kind of work well with the carrots. I'm not sure. But I've got mainly browns and greens. And then I have also got, this lilac-y type colour, because I've got obviously 1 or 2 pages with this sort of pinky colour. Oh, totally the wrong colour. I won't be using that. Yep, scrap that. Did not obviously pick that very well. Right, what colour do we want to use then in the background here? Shall we go for the green? Shall we start off with, you know, minimal colours? Because I'm thinking, you know, we can always build up when we get braver. This is our first page, which of course, you know, first page, I'm not really feeling very brave yet. I'll hopefully get more in the swing of it and then be, you know, much braver with things going forward. So what I'm going to do, going to take my paint. Now, I like to use a wipe for spreading. Now, this is a wet wipe, which hopefully is going to help to be not watering the colour down exactly, but yeah, help it kind of spread out. Oh gosh, that's really watered that down. So yeah, oh, ignore me. Yeah, I'll have to use a dry wet wipe instead. I thought that was going to be wonderful, but actually it's way too thin. Wondering whether I should go to a different page now, because that's going to be quite soggy. Right, let's do a different page, just because, you know, I need that to dry really. So yeah, I've just moved back a page now. Okay, so I'm using a dry wipe now, which, yeah, maybe I'll have more success with. It's got to be said, these were very cheap acrylic paints. I got them from the range. They were in a very cheap set. I mean, it was something like $5.99 or $6.99 or something for loads of colours, 24 colours or something. So you can probably see it's really not very, you know, going on very thick. So what with that and the wet wipe, it was just, yeah, not a good combination. So, you know, live and learn, as they say, buy cheap, buy twice. And yep, I do never ever learn my lesson on that one. Right, I'm going to just quickly dry this with my heat tool, because what I'm going to do is put a second coat on here, I think, because it is very washed out, which, yeah, it's a bit too washed out, I think. So because what I'm trying to do is obviously mute some of the text in the background, so that then, of course, any blank space would be perfect for journaling, where currently, you know, you couldn't really journal over this too well, because of course the text is, you know, still very dominant in the background there. So let's just take this again. Okay. Now, I just like to wipe my paint. You know, I like that sort of dragged look. Right, I wouldn't really recommend these paints, it's got to be said. I have used them once before and I thought they were okay. For this, no, they're not really great. So these were, yeah, Art Studio from the range. Probably fantastic for kids, you know, great for kids projects. They're not really up to the quality that we need for our junk journal projects here. But I have got, you know, other paints and things that I could use as well. So, and because I've got quite a big variety of paints, hopefully we're going to get, you know, a much more interesting kind of look going on in the journal as a whole. So what I might do is actually mix this now with a different colour, so that we've got, you know, a bit more sort of interest going on. Now, not necessarily that colour, because actually that doesn't seem to go that brilliantly with the image. I have even got, no, that's not going to be brilliant. Do you know what? I'm even thinking, shall we put some of this down? Oh, this is like crazy, isn't it? Because I said mustn't get too carried away so early on in the journal, and now straight away I'm going for it with this orangey colour. Oh my goodness, very strong, very strong, that colour. Right, let's go in. Oh my goodness, what have I done? That's very dominant on that page. There's like no coming back from that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go in with my wet wipe and, yeah, wipe that a little bit. Okay. That is very strong. Right, let me dry that off again. Oh my gosh, now I've just touched my face. Oh, with paint. So now I've got paint probably on my chin. Oh my goodness. And I'm expecting somebody to come in a minute and pick up my son's car to take it to the garage to do its MOT. he's going to knock on the door in a minute, and then I'm going to have to go down with paint on my face. Yep, paint on my face. Honestly. And, you know, although this is very, very thin on the page, you can bet your life it's not thin on my chin, can't you? You can bet your life it's very dominant there, even though on the page it's just sunk into nothing. It's probably like standing out like a right sore thumb across my chin. Right, there we go. So, yeah, I mean, you can see it's quite hard work using this paint, to be honest, because it's so thin. But there we go. I've got much more on there, which, yeah, is a bit better. And obviously I've blurred it in now to that orangey colour, which I was way too adventurous with. Right, there we go. Well, I'm quite liking how that looks. So although that has taken a few attempts to get there, I think it's, you know, it looks good now. So let's dry that off. Like that, okay? Can you see, as that's drying, that text is still coming through that paint. So, you know, even though we've put several coats on, that paint's still not very opaque, is it? It's still pretty translucent, really. So, yeah, not the best. Not the best at all. Compared to like this, if I just show you that. Now, I can't recall, but I feel like I only did one coat of acrylic on there. And that's covered up that text completely. So, yeah. Like I say, I mean, it's just lessons learned, isn't it, really? But okay. Well, what I might do, based on the fact that this is, you know, rubbish, turning out to be rubbish, is I might mix it with, I've got some of this more expensive. These are those De La Rowney, which are, of course, you know, good quality acrylic. Well, I think they're good quality acrylics. I don't know whether, you know, genuine artists would agree. But I've got some white. So I'm going to go and get the white. And then what I'll do, I'm going to go over with the whole, you know, with the white, kind of merging this in. So it tones the colour down, because of course I've got a lot of colour on there now. And also it's going to hopefully give it a slightly more, you know, opaque sort of depth to it. So I will be back. Hold on. Right, I'm so sorry about that. Right, I am back. Now, this page is much drier. I've got the white paint. Obviously, the man's been and collected my son's car. So, you know, hopefully we can now just, oops, continue with this a little bit uninterrupted. So, right, now, put in some white on here to dull this down, because, like I say, it actually was, oh my goodness, like a little bit on the bright side. Now it's just looking completely white. Oh. This is not a good video so far, is it? So I can apologise. Right, okay. So yeah, it's getting a bit more muted now. Let me just take another wipe and yeah, we'll just try and kind of like smudge some of that off. There we go. Right. Okay. Much happier now with that. And I think, you know, that's quite a nice sort of compromise, because we've actually got streaks of white in with the colour. So not exactly as I'd kind of planned it, but, you know, I think it looks good anyway. So I'm just going to dry that off, especially because I've gone over it with the wet wipe now. So it's kind of, you know, much more soggy. So like that. Okie dokie. Yep, it's drying off nicely. Okay, right. Now, this is going to be our, you know, main feature piece on this page. Now, obviously, you know, I'm using this as inspiration, but I'm not going to only be, you know, doing it exactly the same, if that makes sense. So obviously this is a smaller image, and, you know, I have a lot more space on the page, if that makes sense. So what I'll do is actually take some of the other fussy cut pieces, so like some of the raspberries and things, and just cut some of those out that I will decorate around the page with. So I'll just take, yep, I'll just take a few of these like that. Okay. Okie dokie. Right, there we go. I'll just take these flowers. Not necessarily flowers. Oh, sorry, Natalie also has arrived since my, filming just now. So if you can hear lots of tape being used, it's because she's, busy packing orders. So, yeah, I do apologise if you can obviously hear the tape going. But we're being very busy and productive here today. So, yeah, lots of activity going on. So, yeah. Right. Okie dokie. So, yep, there's a couple, and I'll just do this last one here. Like that. Okie dokie. Right. Oh my goodness. Right, there we go. So, yep, we've got some raspberries and things like that now cut out to have on there. And then what I might do is just take... Now, I'm just wondering whether I want to take anything from maybe a background page. So, I mean, I've got here the, this collage page. Please excuse the stuff on the back. This is obviously, when I'm making the pages, I often obviously have overspills of printing and things. So... do I want to add any of this in the back? I mean, obviously, going by this one, the only thing on the page really was that center piece. So if I'm using that as my inspiration, then, that should be my only piece. But I'm just going to tear this piece out of this collage page, just in case we want to have anything else on there. So we could have something like that on there. So, we have then got something else. And then what I might do is actually build up the image in the center of that page, if you see what I mean. So we are, in fact, keeping the same shape and things that we have here, all in the center, but we've built it up. So, yeah, I think that's quite nice, actually. Now, I'm just going to have a look and see whether we want to use any stamps, because, of course, I had stamped on the other one. So I'm just having a quick look through my... stamps here. Okay. I mean, I just happen to have, a bunch of stamps right here at the side of my desk. I do have this butterfly. That's quite nice. We've got that bird. Oh, I don't know now. Or I also have... oh, look. Got these ones. Kind of thinking maybe some of these types of things might be nice. Maybe like this stamp somewhere. I'm even thinking we could even do like a crown and have that over the top of the deer. Maybe kind of I will do that and emboss it and actually have it on top of the deer. Right, okay. I'm so disorganized today. I'm so sorry about this. It's because I've got obviously lots of things going on at the same time, so I do apologize. Right. Okay, now I have got a bunch of different stays on. I was super lucky to have been gifted these by the lovely Michelle. So hello Michelle, if you catch this video. This is the lovely Michelle who obviously runs our Facebook group. She was very generous and she bought me some lovely stays on colours. So I'm going to put this out of the way and not use this actually. Now I have got these gorgeous large stamp sets on my website, on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website, and I thought actually this is going to look brilliant, I think, on here. So yeah, this is my first time of using these stamps, but I'm thinking this gorgeous corner would look pretty good on here. We've got some scripty stamp in there as well. And then there's like a clock designs. I think that's a postmark. Just had to put my glasses down to see. Yeah, postmark. We've got a bee. And again, we've got a crown. It's a bigger crown. It might swamp that deer. But yeah, so we can kind of like, you know, mix in. Now, the question is, what colour is going to be best on this page? Because yeah, because it's got to complement the, you know, the Laurie background, i.e. the greens and all that, and it's got to complement the pictures. So I was kind of thinking maybe like the black cherry or the blazing red. I brought along the forest green because I thought, well, there's quite a bit of greens. The pumpkin I had pulled out because of the carrots, but we might use the pumpkin somewhere else in this. So let's just have a look. Right, okay, so going to go for one of these. Now what I'm going to do is just stamp this onto some book page so as I decide which one is going to be better, whether it's the black cherry or the blazing red. I think probably the black cherry, you know, judging by the looks of the, you know, the colours on the top. But, you know, sometimes when you then do stamp them, they actually can look different. So I'll, you know, just kind of judge it when we use it. Now, taking the corner stamp. Now, do I want to use this on a block or not? Just have a quick look. Because it's quite a large stamp. Oh, I don't know now. Because it's a large stamp, I feel like maybe it would benefit from being on a block. I don't know. Right, let's give it a try here. So let's just stamp it onto this book page. So like I say, never used this stamp before. Don't know what it's going to look like, but hopefully gorgeous. So let's just take that there like that. And then, oops. Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp it onto this book page. Actually, I'm going to stamp it onto this book page rather than fold it over. And I'm going to do it onto the book so that I get really how it's going to look, because of course that book page isn't necessarily laying flat. Oh my goodness, what a gorgeous stamp. That's lovely, isn't it? And yeah, I think that's going to look really good with this. So yeah, let's do that. I think it's quite a good colour match to the berries. So yeah, let's do that. Okay. Inking all around. Oh my goodness. All around there. Right. Okay. Oh, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Oh gosh, now I can't see which way up this needs to go. I think this is the... Oh my gosh. Ah! That was nearly a right accident. Did you see it? Just dropped off the block. Oh. Right. Let's pop that down. Oh my goodness. It looks really bright, doesn't it, on that page? I hope it's not going to look that bright in the flesh. Right. I'm just pressing that block like that. Okay. Right. Unfortunately, I have quite a lot of kind of bleeding in going on there because obviously it moved around. Didn't have it on the original. But yeah, got it a bit there. But I mean, that's fine. I don't think it really matters too much. But doesn't that frame that image just so perfectly? Oh my goodness, I love it. Absolutely love it. Right, now for this corner, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just use this portion, which is this section here, and I'm going to, yeah, stamp it down there. Oh gosh, look, covered in ink already. Oh, no sooner have I opened the stamp, I'm literally covered in the ink. Not a good situation. Right, okay. So let's take the stamp. Yeah, I'm going to use that portion there. So just inking that up like that. And then we just pop this down here. So like that. Okay. Oh my goodness, how lovely does that look? absolutely love it. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Right, now I'm going to ink around this piece here because, you know, I want it to look sort of grungy, I think, the yeah, the overall effect. So let's quickly ink that up before we glue that down. Okay, got a lot of stuff here that's all sliding down on the desk, but let's just quickly ink that. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. Right, so I'm going to glue that down like that. Now I am going to ink this whole page you know, in a minute, or you know, when everything's glued on it, but I think for the moment I'm going to glue everything on and then I will ink the page. So let's just pop the bits down that we want to go on there. Okay, so this piece here. Okay, going to just spread that there with my wipe. Oh my goodness, sliding around a bit on that page. Actually really loving that that Laurie background now. Oh, now look what I've done. I've melted my card, my glue spreader, because it's been laying underneath my underneath my hot glue gun. I mean, wow, not had that happen before. Right, okay. Oh, honestly, another disaster video this would appear to be, wouldn't it? So, yep, another disaster video, I'm afraid. Right, let's ink up my berries a bit and just check which, you know, where we want them to go. So, yeah. I mean, I want to have quite a bit of the texty bit showing, I think. So, because I'm quite liking how that looks. There we go, another berry there. Now, did we have it? Was it like that? Was it like that? I don't know, to be honest, whether it was or not. Right, let's put this down. Now, I'm just using my Fabri-Tac, but obviously, you know, use whichever glue you like best if you're doing something like this. Okay, pressing that down. And I like to just use my wipe because any glue that's kind of seeping out, it will get caught then, you know, with the wipe. Right, definitely want that flower over the top of the deer, so I'm going to just pop the deer down next. I think this is going to be a very you know, pretty altered book, I have to say. I mean, like I say, I've not really done one this way before, you know, with all just paper bits and not necessarily having pockets on the pages. But I think it's going to turn out very nice, you know, very kind of interesting to look through. So then I'm going to just put this and this one down. So that one, like that, and then this one over here. And then I'm going to just quickly dry this off. Now, that stays on is pretty good and it normally dries pretty instantly, but just in case it's not, I'm going to just dry it with my heat tool, just, you know, to make sure it's absolutely dry. Okay, so let's now, oops, I have also got one of my number tabs there, which I just wondered whether that could go on there. It's a bit big, that one, to be honest. Just see if I've got any other numbers floating around. I did have them here from something else I was doing the other day. Oh, can't see them now. Just because I thought, well, maybe a number or something would look good on here. So, no, oh gosh, where have they gone? No, right, I give up with the numbers. I'm not going to bother. We can always come back and glue on some extra sort of details like that if we fancy it. So let's quickly dry this off. I mean, like I say, that stays on pretty good at drying instantly. But because I'm going to be going in, you know, with my distressing, I want to just make sure it is definitely dry, because I don't want to smudge it at all, you know, because obviously that's going to just look awful then. So, right, checking all my bits are glued down. Now, do I want to do the shading? Because obviously on this, quite a big feature was where we've done the shading with like a watercolour pencil. I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. Dropped my heat tool now. I'm not sure whether I want to do that or not. Mainly because I'm being like really lazy, and I think, oh, once I've done it on one page, I'm then kind of committed to having to do it everywhere. But without that, it might not have quite the same appearance, so perhaps I should. Right, and just now quickly finding my black watercolour pencil. Oops, can I see it in there? So I love using the watercolour pencils, and, you know, and I know I've talked about this before, I predominantly just use really the black one. You know, I don't know even whether you can just buy like a set with just sort of several black watercolour pencils, but if you could, then I think that's what I would do next time. I wouldn't actually even bother buying, you know, a whole bunch of colours, because the colours are going to last me absolutely yonks and yonks. It's the black one that actually, you know, I've used a lot. So yeah, I wouldn't kind of bother necessarily buying a whole set of colours. Well, until they were running out anyway. Right, now, okay, I've got my black watercolour. So I'm going to go around just some of the edges like that, okay? I mean, I should probably pay attention to have all my, you know, shading going in the right direction. I'm not very good at paying attention to this, and generally I just kind of like have it coming out anywhere, which then sometimes I regret, because I think, oh, that looks weird now, it's got shading where it shouldn't be. So I'll try and pay a bit more attention and focus a little bit better. Right, just need to glue this little bit down because it's just coming, you know, lifting slightly, so we'll just pop that down like that. Okay, right, okay, now I'm going to take a wet wipe, I think, and try and smudge this in a bit with the wet wipe. Okay, so just like that. Now, suddenly thought, because I've not got gesso or anything on this, so this smudging is not probably, you know, working as well as perhaps it could if I had used gesso on this page. So, you know, all these are just lessons that, you know, I'm learning as I go along. But I mean, to be honest, I think that still looks fine. I'm not disliking it, to be honest. So yeah, let's put a bit of black going down there. Again, just there like that. Okay, right, I'm quite liking how that's looking so far. Again, wishing I was live and I could hear what your opinion is, whether you think it's looking okay or just like a bit weird. But okay, yeah, I mean, it's just given it a bit of depth, hasn't it, by just having a bit of, you know, a bit of light shading going on. Just going to drag that out a bit more so as we've got a bit more. I think perhaps that wipe is actually a bit too wet, you know, just taking it away completely. But okay, well, I love how that looks. Right, now again, I should probably dry this, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because obviously it's quite wet now from the watercolor pencil and the wipe. And obviously I'm going to go in with my distress ink. I don't want to then just end up with very orange bits from the distress ink. So yeah, dry that off. Okay, let's put this out of the way. Right, take my, well, I feel really nervous. I don't know why, but yeah. Let's just go around there. I think because it's obviously just glued into the book, so it's kind of like, oh, if I mess this up, it's the whole page is messed up. So it feels dramatic, you know. There we go. Right. So, yeah. And this is just my vintage photo ink. So, yeah, just going over like that. Okay, looking good. Yeah, loving how that looks. Okay, right. So, I've also got my what's this, you know, the white ink by the Winsor Newton white ink. Now this is what Maramy Small Art, she uses this for her splatters. I've used it several times for my splatters. I'm pretty sure it's what I used for my splatters on this. So I'm going to kind of do some splatters on this. Now I'm going to do it before I put any lace or trim or anything like that on, just because, you know, I don't necessarily want it, you know, going over my lace or my ribbon. So, yeah, let's just pop that in. Oh my goodness, I've got a lot of ink on there. Oh dear. Right, okay. Let's do some splats. Okay. Should have probably covered the picture up, but to be honest, you know, I don't mind it being a bit, you know, a bit on the picture. Okay, like that. Right, try and mind out for the deer. Yep. Okay, right, there we go. Now let's just clean off my splatter brush. Right, now I should probably dry my page yet again. So, yeah, yet again, going to just quickly dry off the page. So, hold on. Okay. Just wipe my desk where I've got the odd splatter. Oh, gosh. Right, there we go. Just because if I put some lace or anything on, I don't want to obviously smudge in the splatters now all over the page. So, yeah, like that. Okay, right, so that's that one. Now, got here, oops, some banners. So I'm thinking maybe take one of these circle pieces to have either on some ribbon or some lace. So I'm going to take this one. Oh gosh, my world's first thing, cutting out circles. Why even include them in kits is beyond me, because every time I do it I think, oh no, now I've got to cut out a circle. They're not great, are they, cutting out circles, to be honest? Yeah, not great at all. Okay. Right, okay. So, yeah, that will do. And, yeah, we should probably just quickly ink this up as well. So, yeah. Okay, looking good. Now, so, I've got some lace trim here with some green. Now, my only issue is I don't want this page going all down the Christmas route, which I feel like we're a little bit in danger of doing that already, where I've got that green stamping. You know, I know I talk about this all the time, but, you know, always have a bit of a, oh no, we're looking like Christmas now with the green and the red together. So, yeah, I don't want to kind of like have it going, you know, looking more like Christmas than autumn, but I think probably what we need to do is bring some brown in. So I've got this ribbon here, which I'm thinking we could either have this here, maybe there off the page. So I'm going to do this quite a big loop, because that's quite a big circle. So like that, cut that down there, like that. Okay, Now that there, take my circle. Now, do we want it like that? And we have not put any lace on here yet, so let's just see. These are just some offcuts of lace that I've got laying around. Let's just see if we might want to have this or anything. Or we could have it down here. I mean, these are, are just offcuts that are laying around on the desk. And I thought, well, we might as well just use these, to be honest. So, yeah, could have something like that. Or do we like this green, you know, and have maybe the green running right down the edge? I mean, the problem is with having this green, I do feel like it's going Christmassy. Now, the other thing that I've got is I've got this very pretty, you know, very skinny ribbon. So I do not use skinny ribbon particularly often, but it's always handy to have some because sometimes it's great for things like tags, or you can do these kind of like loopy type things where if we just wrap it around like that. So we're making it quite not long, but you know, quite a few strands. Oops, like that. Cut that down. Oh my goodness. Like that. Don't think this is going to work. As we have it more like that. No, that's not really worked. Right, let me try again and try and do it bigger. So like that. Okay. And then if we just pinch this in at the middle, so I'm just going to take a bit of glue that's hopefully going to kind of secure this together so as it stops, you know, coming apart. So like that. Okay, like that. Oh, I'm not sure now. I mean, the problem is if I have this up here, I feel like we're getting to the point where it's like completely framed, which is a bit weird. Maybe it's better there. And I have also got a little button, so we could, or we could even have the buttons, perhaps a couple of buttons. I mean, these were just laying around on the desk, but yeah, maybe they're quite nice. Like that. On there. What do we think to that? Also got a wax seal here just to the side, which, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Let me just try this here now. Oh, that's quite nice. If we have that there instead. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right lace. Let me just see. Got some of this lace here as well. This is just, you know, that lace that I use all the time. Oh, do you know, I've also got some burgundy lace, which that's now caught my eye. This is just stuff that's laying around on my desk, you know, and it's kind of catching my eye as I'm working. Then I think, oh, perhaps I should try that. Oh, perhaps I should try that. Oh, perhaps I should try that. Let's just see. What about something like that? I think that looks quite nice. So we're going to then put this down. Oops. So like that. Okay. Now I'm going to glue the lace down, running straight down that side. Like that. Now just using my fabric tack to glue that down. There, like that. Okay. And then here, just going to take my ribbon, which I just, you know, did in that sort of scruffy loop the loop thing, like that. And then I've got these wax seals. Now these also I've put in my shop, I think, on my website, and they're an oval shape and they've got this rose. Now the rose, I'm going to just make it stand out slightly more, I think, by putting a bit of gold paint on. So, oops. Oh dear. Okay, let's just wet that a bit. Okay. Like that. Oh my goodness, doesn't that look yummy? Absolutely yummy. Yeah, definitely loving how that looks now. So yeah, going to pop that wax seal on there. Oops. Like that. Okay. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous is that? Now just see whether we want to have this bit of green, just because I cut it off anyway, so it's like, well, it's there. Shall I pop it on somewhere? Yeah, what do we think? I mean, it definitely looks very pretty, doesn't it? Oh, let's just have that on there, shall we? Yep. So just gluing this with the hot glue, because this is a much thicker lace, so you know it's filled in. I don't think really you're going to notice the hot glue coming through there too much. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? So you've still got journaling space around on that page, but looks very pretty, doesn't it? Now obviously I'm aware that I have taken ages doing this video, so I don't know even whether we've got time really to do another page, but should we try and do this? Oh, this is the loose page, so shall we tear this page out? No, let's keep this page in. So all I'm going to do is just smoosh some paint down opposite. Now I'm going to try my best to put this on a bit thicker so as it doesn't just, you know, wipe straight off. I probably will need to do several coats because again, this is that very, you know, thin quality paint, but we'll just go over here like that. Okay. And then once this is dry, we'll just do a little bit more, but maybe mix in some other colours. So we'll put some more in this colour, and then we'll just mix in a little bit of maybe the green or something. Just so it's, you know, toning in nicely with the facing page. So like that. Okay. Okie dokie. Another quick dry off there. Right, now one more I think, and then we'll go with some green. So just a little bit more of this colour, and then we're going to put a little bit of green down once this is dried. So like that. Okay. Okie dokie. Right, let's put some green down. So yeah, Just a little bit there. I say a little bit. I mean, look at the amount that's gone on there. Tons. Tons and tons. Right. And just then put that in. Whoops. Put that in like that. Okay. Might even just dab a little bit over here as well. Okay. So yeah, we've got just then, you know, a bit of sort of continuity between the green and the other colour. Okay. And then just tone it down with a little bit of the white. Again, just because we've got the white on the other one. So I feel like this is quite a good way of, you know, blending the pages together. So they've got the same sort of thing going on. So like that. And then I'm just going to take that one, which was the wet white. Oops. Just kind of smoosh that in a bit, like that. Okay, whoops. Right, let's dry that off again. And then probably we just want to bring the two pages kind of together. So what I'm going to do is just take maybe like one or two pieces from here. So this is the collage sheet. Oh, no, I've got stuff on the back. Let me see if I've got some of the collage sheet without stuff on the back. Well, I haven't got the collage sheet, but I have got this. So I'm going to take these bits. Like that. So if I just take this one, it's not been coffee dyed, so I will just quickly coffee dye the back of it. So if I take that, and then I wonder if I've got anything else. I've got some pink somewhere here. So I've got some of my pink food coloured paper, which I'm thinking, right, okay, let's try. And yeah, take a bit of this, and then what I'm going to do, I think, is coffee dye it so it's got a bit more of a, you know, brown tinge going on rather than just pink, like that. And then we could have those two up there. So right, let me bring in my coffee dye. Now I always keep some coffee dye just in a cup behind my desk, so let's just bring that in. And you know, I know I've talked about this loads of times, but I just always kind of find it best to just repeat myself in case, you know, someone's watching who's not watched before. Get a wet wipe. Oops. And then just put my coffee like that with the wet wipe. You don't even need to do both sides, you know, unless you want to. And then I just go over this pink as well, which is just making it look a bit more brown rather than just pink. I can go over both sides actually with the pink, like that. And then I'm just going to dry them off with the heat tool. I need to just go over that one a little bit more. Okay. Dry them off with the heat tool. One. Okay, oops, need to be a bit careful I don't just tear this, because of course it's, you know, pretty saturated and it is just thinner paper, so And this is just food coloured paper, but obviously it's now food coloured with a tinge of coffee dye as well. So, yeah. Right, so you can see, I mean, it's gone quite crumply now, or crinkly. I was trying to say crumpled or crinkly. Crumpled or crinkly. Anyway, came out like crumply. I'm not sure that's the word, but anyway. So then we can just have this. Now, can have it even sideways on, might be kind of fun. Let's have it up there, covering up that diagram that's on the book. So like that, and then shall we have a raspberry cluster, which again is just going to bring that in from that side. So just bring this one in here. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, we could do some of the red stamping, to be honest. That would also pull it all together. But I think, you know, that's the key thing, is just bring in things that you've used elsewhere, bring them in dotted about, if that makes sense, because that then sort of ties it together. So by just, you know, if we just had like that page and that page, it looks okay, but nothing kind of special. If we have a couple of elements which are very similar now to what we've got over here, it's bringing it properly together. So like that. Oh, I've got some, oh no. Yeah, got some fly sheet here. So what we could do is even incorporate a bit of this as well. So as we've got layers, which is always a bit more interesting than just, you know, single sheets. So again, just going to quickly ink this up. I mean, to be honest, I could have coffee dyed this. I probably should have done, but I've only just spotted it on my desk. So yeah, it didn't occur to me until just now. So let's just pop that down there. Right, now I probably, yeah, going to move that over slightly. Like that, like that. Okay, right, let's cut that down. Okay, like that. And like that. Like that. Oh, come on. Right, yeah, like that, I think. Now, do we want to have the raspberry on this piece, or do we want the raspberry like somewhere else on the page? Even thinking maybe we need something like a bit of lace or something to just really bring it together. So let's just take that bit of lace there. Yeah, I think kind of like that really looks pretty good. So all I'm going to do is staple this little assortment of pieces together. So my stapler is over here. I saw it just now, luckily, otherwise I'd have been hunting around for that now. There we go. So that's just going to staple on here. I've got the, not staple on, glue on. And then we've got the raspberry cluster there as well. So yeah, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? And I'm even thinking I've got these gorgeous flower trims, which let me just pull these in, which again, these are now buried under something under my desk. So I can't even bring in the whole trim because it's too buried. I can't actually get it out. But yeah, we could even have something like that, which then like tying that green in. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't even need that, to be honest. Maybe a little bit of stamping. So yeah, let's put this down. So I'm going to glue this down now, straight down the edge of that page. Again, this is complete nonsense using the hot glue for that. Overkill to the nth degree. Was not needing to use hot glue for that, but you know, that just seemed like a good idea at the time. Okay, then we've got this. And yeah, let's just put the little raspberry cluster on there. So take this and then just glue it on the whole thing like that. Oh my goodness, how scrumptious does that look? And then I'm thinking one more thing is required. So yep, just some sort of red is required, I think, just to really bring the two halves together. So I'm going to just take this little scripty stamp. Oh gosh, let's hope I'm using the right red. Can't even remember now which one I used. Right, now again, just going to stamp it off onto here. So as I just check which section it looks like. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm thinking, you know, that section there is going to look good. That actually looks like it's upside down, doesn't it? So let me just try it like that. Do you know, it's so hard to say. I'm going to put it that way up. Let's just put it down here. Maybe just a bit more here as well. So just very minimal touch of red there, just to kind of like tie the two halves in together. I don't think it needs the white splatters, but of course, you know, could always even do white splatters to tie it in, you know, even more. But yeah, I don't think that's kind of necessary, but I guess that could be an option. I'm still toying with that flower, so who knows, when I actually come to sort of finish the journal, maybe that flower will also make it on. Oh, do you know, let's just do it. You know, when something keeps on catching your eye, eventually you have to go for it. So we have got obviously journaling space here and here, journaling space all here, and then journaling space all around here. So yeah, a good start there. This is also a pockets page, so of course can then tuck some bits in there. And like I say, we're going to predominantly do paper pieces in this. We're not going to really have pockets in here. We're going to have pages sort of like this, mixed in with some paper filler type items. So it's going to be a slightly different kind of autumn book to those that maybe I've done before. But yeah, I hope you like it. You know, obviously it took a while to get there, but a good start, I think. And yeah, hopefully kind of, you know, we'll pull this autumn journal together. So I may come back and do some more, but what I might do is just do a few more bits on my own first, and then come back and we'll do maybe another page spread or something. So if you like the kit and you wanted to check it out, that's for sale obviously in my Etsy shop, and a lot of the bits that I've used, like I say, they're for sale on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day everybody, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.